I don't have a coming out story, and that's okay. In the spirit of pride, I wanted to talk about coming out, what it means to me, and what being bi/pan is like for someone in their 30s. I just wanted to share kind of my growth as in my identity as a person over the years and let you know that it's okay if you don't have a definitive moment or dramatic story of when you came out, but it can also just kind of intertwine with your history. Quick preface for the video: I grew up in the 90s. I'm a millennial. I'm 32. So if this seems dated or you can't relate, I totally get it. This is for probably other millennials like me who might have a similar experience and benefit to hear that they're not alone. I think I knew I was bi or something else pretty early on in life, but I didn't have words for it. And I also liked, boys. I had crushes on boys in middle school and high school, so I thought, that's fine. I don't need another word for it. Later in life, it definitely became, I'm definitely curious. I'm curious, but I'm not officially bi or anything else. I just wanted to add, we didn't have the word pan or pansexual when I was in high school. I didn't know what it was, so a lot of this video I'm talking about bi when I was younger and then adding pan later. If that's confusing, I'm sorry. I was editing and starting to go back and watch the clip and I was like, I needed a better explanation for this. I was in high school in the 2000s. I was starting to realize my identity in 2008, 2009. There was not a word for pansexual yet, so bi was all we got. I learned that later, and I'm so glad I did. But the reason I never had a coming out moment is probably because I was lucky enough to feel safe in my home, to feel, fine going along in life, just wondering and not having a clear label. What are labels anyway? So when I was I think part of this all stems from when I was in high school. I dated someone who ended up coming out. He was gay. He broke up with me because of it. Tragic, I know. And I had a friend who was out and bi, and she was like, Jen, so what do you think? Did he turn you gay? Are you bi too? Tell me, aren't you just a little bit? And I think she scared me back in the closet. I think I was like, no, I'm fine. I don't know. I definitely not bi, definitely not gay. I'm curious. And I just left it at that for a long time. But I think when I started dating more seriously after college, it did mean a lot more to me that I told my partners, like, no, this is definitely more than a curiosity, and you should know that. So I think the first person I officially came out to was someone I was dating in my mid-20s, and that was it. He knew, and it wasn't a big deal. He was supportive, thankfully. I did want to add another small bit here that comes along with my history, and that is that I was in the military for 5.5 years. More importantly, I was in ROTC in college, and that was right on the cusp of Don't Ask, Don't Tell being repealed, being taken away. So the fact that I hadn't come out or fully identified as bi or pan yet, the fact that I wasn't fully out yet and didn't know exactly what my sexuality was, I couldn't tell anyone for 4 years, or at least I can't remember what year that it was officially gone, but I hid it even more because of that and was like, well, if I am, I can't show it. I can't tell anyone. And I think that, again, contributed to my, not having an official, yes, this is me, until much, much later. I did meet lots of wonderful queer people in the military, and I think I've talked a lot about how I'm afraid of this bias when people find out that I served. I got out, I didn't like it, but I did meet really cool people in the service. Only in recent years, since really being on Twitch, I think I saw other creators and knew, oh, that person's pan. That they understand some part of me and they get that, and that's cool to see. And that's really when I started saying, okay, I'm going to put it in my bio, because if there's other people, maybe they don't feel safe coming out or announcing it or sharing it, but hey, they can see Jen put that she's pan in her bio, and that's cool. Since then, I've been really grateful for the support I found on Twitch. I'm dating someone now who also identifies as bi/pan, and I think that has helped me become a lot more comfortable and confident in my sexuality and validated. Like, yes, maybe I thought I didn't belong here earlier. Maybe I didn't feel, is this me? And I definitely do now, and I am really grateful for that as well. I'm really grateful that like subtle conversations have been happening with my mom over the past couple years. Hey, so did you know I might be this, or just so you're aware. And that's been really nice to just kind of say it and go, oh, okay, next topic. I'm lucky to have a family that supports me in that regard. Oh, we got to talk about being pan too, because pan pride. I think when I knew I was pan was when I started learning terms and words and identities out there. There were more genders than just male and female, right? I started getting education about sex versus gender, sexuality, identity, and I was like, okay, well, to me, I'm going to be attracted to you, who you are, however you identify, and that's when I was like, pan feels right. Pan is just, it could be anybody, it is everybody. I'll know what I know. Labels aren't important, but it feels good to have a home, you know? And again, when you see somebody else that has pan in their profile somewhere, you're like, ah, cool. Family. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's the good thing about labels is being able to immediately maybe know some little tidbit about that person where you feel safe and you feel understood. So what's the difference between bi and pan? We had a really lovely discussion about this on my Twitch channel the other day. I will link that video below so you can kind of hear the context leading up to this video. For me, and everybody is a little bit different, and I don't think there's one like universal, you must use this definition standard. To me, bi means attracted to two or more genders, whereas pan is attracted to people regardless of their presentation, their gender, their identity. You just like people. It's a very human thing, which I think is so cool. Jen the human, I'm pan. I think that's why that's the one that sticks with me more. I think in my mind, because I'm pan and I'm attracted to people regardless of their gender, I end up being attracted to more than two genders. And so therefore, by default, I am also bi. To me, bi is more of like an umbrella that pan falls under, but not everybody feels it that way. And I get that it's nuanced. But if you weren't familiar with the terms, there you go. Oh, and fun fact, part of this came to light where I knew I wanted to tell people and be more open with my identity was when I started on Twitch and I needed to make emotes. I have the same emotes here on YouTube, by the way, if you remember. I made my first 3 emotes from the very beginning. My vision was to have one that was yellow, my favorite color, one that was pink, and one that was blue, because I wanted to have the pan pride colors. So there you go, a little bit of sneaky behind the scenes history before I was like fully out on the internet. And I love our emotes, they're so cute. Those are by, I'll link our artist below, by Uncloudless. Yeah, this is my boring and undramatic coming out story. It's not really a coming out story. It's a, well, maybe kinda a little bit. No, I'm scared. I'm ready. I want to tell people and share my experience, and I want to make more bi and pan friends. So if this makes any sense to you, or you met me on the internet and thought, oh wow, that's cool, I can really relate to Jen because of that, feel free to let me know. I'm still kind of shy about it. What really matters is that we treat others with respect and kindness and safety. If people around you are closeted, you might not know. Just make anybody feel comfortable. Never pressure anyone to come out. Never pressure anyone like, oh, you're not out if you don't have a coming out story. I've never heard that, but absolutely ridiculous. And of course, as always, don't come out if you don't feel like it's safe to, if you're not in an environment where that is the right choice. It's okay. There's no rush. We're all humans. We've all got a different journey. And whether or not you choose a label is up to you. The ones that work for me are bi and pan, and I like them. I feel comfy with them. That's it. That's all I got. Happy Pride. Enjoy. Remember that Pride is all year round. Be kind to each other, uplift marginalized voices, support other queer people, and I am sending all the human kindness to you. Later, humans. For bloopers and additional behind-the-scenes content, don't forget to support me over on Ko-fi. Shout out to my monthly Ko-fi supporters, Oracle the Great, 8-Bit Trav, Toonwolf, Semi-Cortex, Metal Spring Pro, Megadan, Y-Miser, and Stowe. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. Thank you so much. Later, humans.